Good afternoon. Welcome to Aspheric TV Politics in View. Today, we'll be looking at the information coming from the INEC boss, Professor Yakubu Mahmood. The INEC boss disclosed to Nigerians that there will be use of electronic voting in Anambra State. It seems to be the way forward to curb issue of election malpractice. So we shall be looking at from Nigerians living in different states. Is it the way forward? Is it the best way to stop rigging and election malpractice? Before I introduce to you my guest, we'll take a quick break, and when we return back, we'll trash the issue.
Do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the notification button to get notified on our videos. Thank you.
Welcome back once more. We are looking at the information coming from the INEC boss, Professor Yakubu Mahmood, who disclosed this information to members of the public during a hearing with the Senate Committee on Election. Mr. Mahmood said that electronic voting might be introduced in the Anambra State election coming up in the year 2021. Is this the best way? I have with me in the studio Mr. Alozie Chukwuemeka Martins, who is a public health enthusiast, a medical scientist, and also a monitoring and evaluation expert. Mr. Martins, welcome to Aspheric TV.
Thank you, my brother Clinton of Rome.
Okay, moving on. I want to get your thoughts on the information I disclosed earlier on the issue we're trying to dissect. Is electronic voting the solution for free and fair elections in Nigeria?
All right, my brother. Thank you, Clinton. Over the years, Nigeria has been desirous of a credible voting system due to irregularities that hamper previous elections, which include ballot stuffing, intimidation of voters, hijacking of ballot boxes, violence, and manipulation of election results. Hence, INEC introduced the Red Data Capture Machine technology in 2007, which produced the Electronic Voters Register and smart card readers, which has since then been in use for all elections. Though the introduction of the Electronic Voters Register and smart card readers improved the electoral process, available research and data reveals that it is yet to achieve the desired results. You can argue and ask what are the advantages of having e-voting. It is believed that the full implementation of e-voting system in Nigeria would save the country from the awful outings or experiences of the past, as it promises free, fair, transparent, convenient, and confidential elections, such as well as speedy the process of results. You are going to have a removal of ballot snatching, removal of pocket of violence and human physical confrontation, expedite voting, counting, and collations, and have a picture of creating more participation by the electorates. So one will have to look at it in that direction. So besides it, it may further be argued that if technology pervades our daily lives, why should voting be exempted from this modern way of life? If you look at our polity, smartphones, e-banking are now common with the people. Add to this the current pandemic and the resultant need to limit mass gatherings. But the current social, political, and economic context in Nigeria is far from ideal and does not conduce to a beneficial introduction of e-voting for now. That's my position.
Okay, thank you. Looking at the issue of e-voting, I think the other side effect of it is having a proper sensitization of electorates. Because if you look at those residing in rural areas who are not privileged to have gadgets, phones, or any of the available platform they can use to vote, it needs sensitization. How do you incorporate those in the village, rural areas, who also participate in the election?
All right, my brother. Before you can come to that perspective, you have to agree that credibility is a foundation of every successful electoral process. If people do not trust the system, it cannot really succeed. Unfortunately, such credibility is sorely lacking in Nigeria. Cynicism has characterized the attitude of the Nigerian people to elections in the country. You must believe that they are rigged. Most of the elections are rigged. Statutory and administrative framework seems to underscore this point. How independent is INEC? Who funds her? Who employs her staffs and members? Who appoints the chairman? These are pertinent questions you have to ask, so that the people, before you say enlighten the masses about it, they must first of all accept the credibility and the system. Without any improvement in public confidence in the system, a significant change such as might be done by the introduction of e-voting may cause more problems instead of finding solutions. Transparency will be eroded. There is a challenge of lack of requisite infrastructure too. Obviously, a transition to e-voting will entail robust technological drive. Where is the homegrown technology? Are we going to rely on the technology from outside? How reliable are they? Who monitors it? Who is the vendor? So there is need for an upgrade in manpower. You have to upgrade the manpower. There is need for people to know. There is need. What happens to those who do not have access to internet? In all the rural communities in Nigeria, do they have internet? Do they have electricity? What is the literacy level of the people? So you have to look at this thing. Data have shown pockets of malfunction of card readers in the past election. You have all seen it. Even the last one, Odo and the Ondo, we had cases where card readers malfunctioned. What is the knowledge of the people when such cases happen? Do they have the requisite knowledge as in to track it back? So election rigging will be made easier. It will make very cheaper. So to achieve this nefarious objective, central system can also be compromised. Machines can be hacked. So related to this problem is a diminution of the oversight of the electoral process. By its nature, e-voting is technical. At best, in addition to the vendors of the technology, only a few members of INEC management body may understand the miniature of the technological input involving e-voting. So at worst, only the vendors, like I said, will do so. So when you are having the vendors doing so, and there is a little, no mass literacy on the use of technology and all those stuff. So what happened to the case? You can say that the people are using smartphone to do their banking, they're on social media, but at least if bank withdraw, you can see if they debit you without you seeing any alert on all those stuff, you can easily notice it through your bank statement. How do you notice when an election went wrong, when you voted and the system is crashed? So in my considered opinion, I believe that e-voting is very important. But when you relate with the socio-political economy of Nigeria, the technological need of it to thrive, when you look at it vis-a-vis the literacy level, internet, epileptic power supply in the system, in the country, that will drive all this process to be power, you find out that it is still remain a very big tall dream for Nigeria. No wonder countries like Germany, Netherlands, and France are very skeptical about this, because in the same way, you are also going to create what we call social inequality, because those that have assets, that have technical know-how on how to use these modern technologies, those that have internet, somebody in far away, like in Anambra, somebody in Aguleri, and somebody in Onitsha, far away in Kaduna, somebody who is far away in Java, and somebody who is in Mental. Take it here, take it to Nasarawa State. Somebody who is Nasarawa Ekon, and somebody who is Karu or Lafayette. The internet supply and the network system in those areas are not the same. The information available to them on the usage are not equally the same. There is a variance. So you are going to create a social inequality among the people. So in my considered opinion, e-voting is very important. We have all seen the enormous advantages, but at this moment, it is not feasible owing to the enormous challenges.
Okay, there is an assertion that Nigerians have a very big issue with how we view things, our mentality. Now, looking at your experience, because you were a member of election monitoring team for last year presidential election, do you think Nigerians wouldn't compromise with this exercise?
Pardon?
Okay, let me take the question again. We have there's this assertion that we have issue with the way we view things, the mentality issue. So, as a member of election monitoring team for last year presidential election, I want to know, how do you evaluate this process? Are Nigerians going to make judicious use of the process without compromise?
Thank you, my brother. This is another important area that we must look at it. I want to use one terminology, what I call irrational exuberance. Irrational exuberance in this context, in a nutshell, argues that people's decision are sometimes influenced by emotions, minds, hysteria, and trend following, and not necessarily as a result of rational considerations, technical fundamentals, as assured by some classical theories. So to that extent, emotions, hysteria, imitations, or what you call isomorphism, trend following could be exploited to create bubbles in the polity. It could be exploited, for instance, to emotionally sway the youth or the voters to vote a candidate or patronize a political party through predatory advertisements or campaign without any understanding value attached to that particular product. So we should be concerned about the value of each voting we bring sincerely. So when you look at this, smart politicians achieve predetermined outcomes through media propaganda hysteria without any concrete or permissive value in their propositions. So the youths, our people are on the receiving end. They try to fall prey to this. I want to state categorically that Nigeria is arguably a country where irrational exuberance is crudely deployed to manipulate several outcomes in our polity. Example, many Nigerians cared less to interrogate the claim that $1 could be exchanged for 1 naira, even when it sounded antithetical to the submission of macroeconomists. We were promised that within 6 months that there will be power in every country, that nobody will go to foreign overseas for medical trip. We believe it. Today, $1 is a change or sold at 460 naira. Still, we have epileptic power supply. Just yesterday, I saw it in the news. We had the Senate Committee on Federal Character insisted that the state house clinic must be funded, and that the president and other members of the first family should not be seeking medical attention overseas. So you see that our health sector is still in shambles. Nothing has changed. State propaganda and irrational exuberance are different levels. So I insist that we have a better outcome when we at least fairly commit to deflate from time to time the bubbles and misinformation which are created in our political spaces by the same sort of factors. So when you look at the Nigerian youth, we are not going to actually make use of it, because there is hysteria, there are emotions, there are platforms, and at the moment, the Nigerian country, the Nigerian system is not yet ready for such thing at the moment. Thank you.
So are you of the opinion that it should be a 4 years sensitization program before we can implement it?
Thank you. Like I said, I said for now. That means
okay. Are you trying to say that the best approach for now should be on sensitization? The INEC should devise means to sensitize electorates for a period of time before we can implement it. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that there should be stronger institutions in place first. We should go back to the drawing board. What is the population of Nigerians that are computer literate? How many of them are aware of the technological era we are? If you look at it vis-a-vis, it could be a 20% of our population. Yes, one will argue there is phone everywhere. There is phone everywhere. Is phone not a computer? But the literacy level, when you talked about this, is bigger than what we have now.
But
mass literacy awareness.
Sorry to cut you short. Before you continue, the INEC boss said that the implementation will start with a kind of test run for next year Anambra governorship election. So after it has been introduced, they will be able to evaluate and know the pros and cons and come up with a long-lasting solution. Does it go well with your ideology?
No, I don't buy that. In my consideration, I don't buy. You don't gamble. You don't try. You don't make such a trial. You don't gamble on let us try when a state, the fate of a state will be decided by this outcome. You don't experiment with such. Experimenting with Anambra means that the system might be influenced. The voice of the masses might not count. We must first of all improve on the system, restore public confidence. The people must first of all appreciate that elections will not be rigged.
Okay.
INEC must make these people believe that there are nothing like incidents. That means everything should be working all to near perfection. So before people can go into this and appreciate to use e-voting, they must have seen high level of public confidence from INEC. That is not existing in Nigeria at the moment. We have pocket of elections where people complained, hearing stories, and there we are seeing judiciary overturn elections that were freely declared by INEC. In fact, the worst case of it that we even see INEC as co-defendants of such during electoral processes, defending their outcome. But we see at the end of the day,
so, Mr. Martins, can I hear you? Are you there, Mr. Martins? Or network issue? Okay. Once again, we are still deliberating on the issue of electronic system of voting. The INEC chairman, Professor Yakubu Mahmood, disclosed to reporters that there will be a test run of electronic voting in Anambra State governorship election that is coming up next year. And there have been reactions. Okay, Mr. Martins, are you back? Hello? Are you back? Can you hear me, Mr. Martins? Okay, there have been reactions from Nigerians. There is this great feelings that it will not go well with a lot of people, especially those residing in rural areas, those who are not knowledgeable of how to operate using gadgets, phones, and any other platform they are going to introduce for voting. So that is why we are trying to know how few Nigerians feel about this particular issue. It's very, very sensitive, especially in a democratic setting. Mr. Martins, can you hear me? Network issue. So it is crucial to having a very successful election. The US and some other countries have applied this particular system, and it's working. Honestly, it's working. The electronic voting system is working, but we have these feelings in this particular part of the world that there should be a lot of sensitization before people can be acquainted with that particular process. So that is why the INEC boss is of the opinion that there should be a test run in Anambra State. If it comes out to be what should be the best approach towards having a free and fair election, good and fine. But if it doesn't, we'll go back to the old system. Still on the studio with me is Mr. Alozie Chukwuemeka Martins, a member of 2019 Presidential Monitoring Team. Mr. Martins, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Still on the issue we have been discussing, I still have this last question for you before we'll call it a wrap. you think
All right.
do you think Nigeria have the resources to take care of this electronic system of voting, the resources to, sensitize people and carry out the exercise successfully without irregularities and killings, snatching of ballot boxes, manipulation of election results? Because I don't think this will go down well with a lot of politicians who are used to the old system of grabbing power. So do you think INEC have or Nigeria have the resources to carry out this exercise?
All right, Mr. Clinton, like I said earlier, without a significant change and without any improvement in public confidence, such thing as e-voting may cause more problems instead of providing solutions. Transparency will be eroded. First, we must acknowledge that e-voting requires high level of technical input, robust technological infrastructure, mass literacy, and awareness. But so far, so good. You also have to consider the administrative and the statutory and administrative framework that permeates the INEC system. You have to look at these things critically. With the current economic reality on ground and with the impact of COVID-19 globally, which Nigeria is not an exception, funding such stride now becomes a Herculean task. When you look at the budgetary provisions, you feel that Nigeria is going to borrow more. I'm optimistic anyway, but then we have to consider what is on ground, what is realizable. The election of Anambra, which INEC intend to test run with, is nearby. The moment is not going to be easy. What are the avenues we are going to use to engage the population? If you engage the young people, what about the old people that are in the village? What about the disabled community? Do you have special technology for them that will accommodate them to vote? So these are issues that need to be attended to before one can move forward. Like I insist, it's not going to be wise to do a test run using a main election. One could have created something to test run it, but you don't use a main election to test run a system you don't know its effectiveness. You don't use people feeling what happened to a particular state, because this vote, their vote is a decision on what is going to happen in their state in the next 4 years. You don't go to have to go and gamble about such things. In my considered opinion, I have been insisting that this is not the right time to engage that at the moment.
All right, thank you, Mr. Alozie Chukwuemeka Martins, for your time on Aspheric TV Political in View. I appreciate you for your contribution. We pray that subsequent editions will have you on our show. This is where we'll call it a wrap on Political View on Aspheric TV. There have been a lot of issues we have tried to look at. The issue of INEC implementing electronic voting in Anambra State, and the reactions, consequences. We'll pray that they will be able to come up with the best approach to give Nigerian democracy a facelift. I remain yours, Service Clinton of Rome. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the notification button to get notified on our videos. Thank you.